Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the news on Thursday. It is now 12:40, and this is MDS Hussain with you. Let's go through highlights the headlines of today's news. Russia in change how a university script its own crisis. North Korea could have up to 2 tons of highly enriched uranium sold. Glimmering sea of solar as China expands desert installation. How healthy is our planet? Francis Sarkozy said to learn fat in Libya case. New York protesters harming image of all Bangladeshi immigrants. News of Bangladesh. Italian Prime Minister Mirza Yunus proposes Italy-Bangladesh Business Forum. Shehbaz Mirza Yunus on UNGA sidelines invites him to visit Pakistan. Yunus introduces political leaders with top United States companies. Protection of Jonas feedback on ordinance by October 4. Yunus holds talk with Italian Prime Minister Meloni. Officials of RU suspend shutdown. 244 held from oil flash processions. Datal makers struggle to keep tradition alive. News of Asia. At least 4 killed in Ladakh protest demanding statehood. Government working to rationalize Hajj Arafat religious affairs advisor. Typhoon Ragasa makes landfall in southern China weather service. 8 dead as overnight heavy rain hits Kolkata. Pakistan police find bodies of 3 transgender women. 2 held in India over trafficking Bangladeshi girl. Afghan boys snakes into planes landing gear reaches Delhi. China orders schools business shut in town cities as Super Typhoon Ragasa nears. The news of the world. Hong Kong reopens after world's most powerful cyclone Ragasa. 5 killed in Ladakh autonomy protest. Palestinian leader to address United Nations as peace push gathers steam. Typhoon slams into South China, 17 killed in Taiwan. Kimmel scores decade high ratings amid Trump high fight Disney. Russia real bear not paper trigger. Indonesia leaders offer 20,000 troops for most or Gaza. Drones observed over 4 Denmark airports police. Let's go through details of the news. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni today proposed establishment of an Italy-Bangladesh business forum aimed at promoting Italian investment in Bangladesh. She made the proposal during a bilateral meeting with Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus, head at a hotel in New York, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly (UNGA). Professor Yunus welcomed to the initiative, noting that while the two countries share long-standing ties, there remains significant potential to expand the trade and investment cooperation. The leaders also discussed a wide range of issues, including the upcoming general election in Bangladesh, migration challenges, the Rohingya refugees crisis, and a possible visit by Meloni to Bangladesh in December. On the issue of migration, Italian Prime Minister Meloni expressed Italy's willingness to engage constructively with Dhaka to ensure safe migration pathways that would benefit both nations. She underscored the need for stronger measures to combat human trafficking, which has claimed the lives of hundreds of migrants in the Mediterranean. In response, Yunus stated that the Bangladeshi interim government has already adopted a zero-tolerance policy toward human trafficking and has implemented several initiatives to ensure safer migration routes for Bangladesh citizens. We need more global efforts to prevent human smuggling, Professor Yunus emphasized. Addressing the political transition in Bangladesh, Professor Yunus said the country is on track to hold general elections in February, after which the plans to return to his previous rule. Meloni commented Melanie commended Professor Yunus' leadership over the past 14 months as the head of the interim government has assured him that Italy would advocate within the European Union to support Bangladesh in holding a free and fair election. The two leaders also exchanged views on the ongoing Rohingya crisis. Professor Yunus urged increased international support for over 1 million Rohingya refugees currently sheltered in Bangladesh. In response, Prime Minister Meloni pledged to send a high-level delegation to the next week's International Conference on the Crisis at United Nations headquarters. Foreign Advisor Tawhid Hussain, National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman, and SGZ Coordinator Lamia Moshed were also present at the meeting. In France, en français, la première ministre italienne, Giorgia Meloni, a proposé aujourd'hui la création d'un forum des affaires italo-bangladais visant à promouvoir les investissements italiens au Bangladesh. Elle a fait cette proposition lors d'une réunion bilatérale avec le conseiller en chef de Bangladesh, le professeur Mohamed Yunus, qui s'est tenu dans un hôtel de New York en marge de l'Assemblée générale des Unions Unies AGNE. Le professeur Yunus a salué cette initiative, soulignant que malgré des liens de longue date entre les deux pays, il existe encore un potentiel important de développement de la coopération en matière de commerce et d'investissement. Les dirigeants ont également abordé un large éventail de sujets, notamment les prochaines élections générales de Bangladesh, les défis migratoires, la crise des réfugiés Rohingyas et une éventuelle visite de Mme Meloni au Bangladesh en décembre. Sur la question migratoire, la première ministre italienne, Mme Meloni, a exprimé la volonté de l'Italie de dialoguer de manière constructive avec Dhaka afin de garantir des voies de migration sûres et bénéfiques pour les deux pays. Elle a souligné la nécessité de mesures plus strictes pour lutter contre la traite des êtres humains qui a coûté la vie à des centaines de migrants en Méditerranée. En réponse, Yunus a déclaré que le gouvernement intérimaire bangladais avait déjà adopté une politique de tolérance zéro à l'égard de la traite des êtres humains et avait mis en œuvre plusieurs initiatives pour garantir des voies de migration plus sûres aux citoyens bangladais. Nous devons intensifier les efforts internationaux pour lutter contre le trafic des êtres humains, a souligné le professeur Yunus, évoquant la transition politique au Bangladesh. Le professeur Yunus a déclaré que le pays était en bonne voie pour organiser des élections générales en février, après quoi il prévoyait de reprendre ses fonctions. Meloni a salué le leadership du professeur Yunus au cours des 14 derniers mois à la tête du gouvernement intérimaire et elle a assuré que l'Italie plaiderait auprès de l'Union européenne pour soutenir le Bangladesh dans l'organisation d'élections libres et équitables. Les deux dirigeants ont également échangé leur point de vue sur la crise actuelle des Rohingyas. Le professeur Yunus a appelé à un soutien international accru pour plus d'1 million de réfugiés Rohingyas actuellement hébergés au Bangladesh. En réponse, le Premier ministre Meloni s'est engagé à envoyer une délégation de haut niveau à la conférence internationale sur la crise qui se tiendra la semaine prochaine au siège des Nations Unies. Le conseiller étranger Tawhid Hussain, le conseiller à la sécurité nationale Khalilur Rahman et la coordinatrice des ODD, Lamia Morshed, étaient également présentes à la réunion. Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas will address the United Nations virtually on Thursday as the United States, despite its opposition to him, weighs whether to try to stop Israeli annexation of the West Bank. The veteran 89-year-old Palestinian Authority president will address the United Nations General Assembly 3 days after France led a special summit in which a slew of Western nations recognized a state of Palestine. United States President Donald Trump's administration adamantly rejected statehood and in a highly unusual step barred about Abbas and his senior aides from traveling to New York for the annual gathering of world leaders. The General Assembly overwhelmingly voted to the late Abbas addressed the world body with a video message. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed not to allow a Palestinian state and far-right members of his cabinet. I have threatened to annex the West Bank in a bid to kill any prospect of true independence. French President Emmanuel Macron, despite his disagreements with Trump, one statehood said Wednesday that the United States leader joined him in opposing annexation. What President Trump told me yesterday was that the Europeans and the Americans have the same position, Macron said in the interview jointly with France 24 and Radio France International. Steve Witkoff, Trump's golfing friend turned roving global negotiator, said that Trump, in a separate meeting with a group of leaders of Arab and Islamic nations, presented a 21-point plan for ending the war. I think it addresses Israeli concerns as well as the concerns of all the neighbors in the region, he told the Concordia Summit on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. We are hopeful and I might say even confident that in the coming days we will be able to announce some sort of breakthrough. Divide one Palestinian Authority. Macron said that the United States proposal incorporates core elements of a French plan including disarmament of Hamas and the dispatch of an international stabilization force. A French position paper seen by AFP calls for the gradual transfer of security control in Gaza to a reformed Palestinian Authority once a ceasefire is in place. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, one of the leaders who met jointly with Trump, said that the world's most populous Muslim majority country was willingly to offer at least 20,000 troops. Abbas Palestinian Authority enjoys limited control over parts of the West Bank under agreements reached through the Oslo Peace Accords that started in 1993. Abbas Fatah is the rebel of Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, although Netanyahu government has sought to conflict the two. Abbas is in his address on Monday condemned the massive October 7, 2023 attacks by Hamas on Israel, which has responded with relentless military offensive. He also called on Hamas to disarm to the Palestinian Authority, France and other European powers while not joining Israel.